Do you remember a time when someone close to you got a big laugh at your expense? Were you embarrassed, humiliated, maybe angry? Or were you able to just laugh along with everyone else? Mr. Contest Master, fellow Toastmasters, and anyone who's ever been the butt of another person's joke, can you laugh at yourself? I wasn't able to when I was a kid. In fact, there wasn't a whole lot of laughter at all in our home growing up. You see, I was an easy target. I was a scrawny kid. I looked like a Q-tip with ears. Because of that, my brothers seemed to enjoy teasing me. My so-called friends poked fun at me. Even my dad got in on the fun every once in a while. Except that it wasn't fun for me. And the teasing continued for years until finally my parents split up. They said that they would have divorced years earlier, but neither one of them wanted custody of me. By the time I finally went away to college, I had become a very humorless individual. What about you? Were you raised in that kind of environment? Do your friends, family, your boss tease you even today about things? The bigger question is, are you self-assured enough to just laugh it off? Let's face it, we all need to laugh more. Parent Magazine says that the average 4-year-old laughs over 400 times a day. The average adult, only about 12 times a day. Even less if they have a 4-year-old. So how do we get more laughter in our lives? How do we develop a thicker skin when people tease us? Well, for me, it started when I began reading the wonderful works of psychologist Dr. Wayne Dyer. Dyer said that the highest level we can get to intellectually in life is the ability to enjoy our lives on a daily basis. Because if we can't do that, then we're a burden to someone else, probably to a lot of people. Case in point, years ago my sister asked me why I don't play tennis with my brother Pete anymore. I said, look, would you want to play tennis with someone who rants and raves and screams and yells after every missed point? She said, no, I guess not. I said, well, he doesn't want to either. When I look back at my childhood now, I realize that there were so many opportunities to laugh and I just didn't see them. Like the time my dad jokingly referred to me as a nitwit. And I missed a golden opportunity to point out to him the irony that I was homeschooled. Being teased back when I was a kid would have been a lot more fun if I'd had a sense of humor. If I'd been able to laugh at those things, but I just couldn't do it then. Which is not surprising, because what is humor? According to author Charles Jarvis, humor is adversity separated by space and time. Think about that. Do you remember an embarrassing setback and you said to yourself, someday I'll look back on that and laugh? We've all said that, right? Hopefully you're not thinking that right now. The point is that we need to shorten the distance between the gaffe and the laugh, to quickly step back and see the humor in our own situations. Because when we can do that, it makes our life so much easier. In fact, a sense of humor can even diffuse a tense situation. I remember one day my wife years ago saying to me, Carl, I think you love football more than you do me. Now that could have escalated into an argument. I could have been defensive, tried to prove her wrong, but instead I took a different tact. I agreed with her. I said, you're right, I do love football more than you, but I love you more than hockey. That little joke got her laughing, the argument was avoided, and the tension dissipated. In fact, we laughed about that right up until the divorce. So obviously, it's laughter that we're after. But Wayne Dyer says there's an even higher level that we should strive to attain, and that is to develop the maturity to be able to laugh at ourselves. Because when we can do that, it puts other people at ease and it lets them know that we don't take ourselves too seriously. Now, Ronald Reagan was one of my heroes. Not only did the president have a wonderful sense of humor, but he wasn't too big a man to kid himself. I remember a press conference when he announced to the world that he was wearing a hearing aid. A reporter asked him, "What kind is it?" Reagan looks at his watch and says, "It's 10:35. Next question. I miss Reagan's sense of humor. But he inspired me to realize that if I could laugh at myself, I would never run out of material. Looking back, though, I realized that I wasn't the only one in my family who had a tough childhood. My daughter, Heather, did not handle the divorce of her mom and me very well at all. She was angry, sullen, depressed. And I realized that what I had learned about laughing and humor could help me be a role model to her and help her get through this, help her understand that laughter is a great coping mechanism. The turning point for her was when she could finally joke about the divorce. I remember one night at dinner, she said to me, "Dad, you're the kind of father that any daughter would love to spend every other weekend with." So what about Wednesday? She said, "Don't push it." Well, today Heather is one of the most upbeat people I know, and when we get together for dinner now, we laugh like 4-year-olds, which proves an old adage that time heals all wounds and laughter makes it happen faster. Fellow Toastmasters, I'll leave you where we began with a question. Can you laugh at yourself? Others are. It's a contest now.